What is going on, everybody? It is episode 723 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary, and it is Thursday, so that means Phil is joining us.
What's up, everybody? My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and a counter-revolutionary.
He was making fun of Mary for being mopey.
Making fun of both of them. I come in here and it's like two Eeyores. They're just dragging butts all over the place.
Brett took major offense to this, but I told him, you're like a mixture of Piglet and Eeyore. And he's like, I never watched Winnie the Pooh. I don't know what that means.
I mean, I can gather the visual cues.
You've got the anxiety. You've got the depression. You're the full package.
Listen, technically, I'm the old man, and I'm telling you both that you need a little Tigger in you, okay?
You are actually the Tigger of our group here.
I'm here to bring levity and energy while I disapprove of everything Gen Z.
Well, we're going to be getting into that. There is Gen Z stuff to talk about.
I can't wait!
Bro, you got to wait to scream. I can't get the camera on you fast enough. We're good now, though. Now that my one ear doesn't work anymore, we're good. Okay, so and speaking of Gen Z, we got a bunch of Gen Z stuff to get into today from Gen Z streamers who are walking around all of the world and, you know, just terrorizing everybody, to stories about influencers. There's a lot to get into, but before we get started, guys, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. I'm less of an Eeyore if you like and subscribe.
You're like, please, this is all I have.
Exactly. So, like and subscribe. And remember to share the videos out with your friends, your family, your loved ones, the people you like, the people you hate. Mortal enemies if you have them. The more people you share these episodes with, the more people you share these segments with, the faster channels like this can grow.
We already got a $20 one.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Didn't see that.
Just came in.
Guitarist Gabe said, I paused the Vance Rogan interview to be here for the leaders of the Crisis Actors. Love you guys. Phil, can I get a let's go?
Let's go! Apparently you can.
It really helps with the motivation. I just wanted to say I'm going to give a big thumb out middle finger to Jimmy Fallon before we start the show.
This one?
The thumb out, yes. It's the exclamation point of my middle finger to Jimmy Fallon, because yesterday's episode got blocked and we weren't aware that would happen if you just show a 30-second clip of Jimmy Fallon doing the Riz face.
Late night is very, very ruthless when it comes to blocking. So
they need all of the help they can get.
Normally what happens is they just copyright claim you and you can't make any money off of it. Then usually what happens, like if it's a trailer for a movie and we're going to make a segment out of it, we'll leave it in the trailer, but we'll cut it from the live stream so that we can monetize the live stream. But Jimmy Fallon's like, nah, you're not making any money off the humiliating experience I had to have doing a segment with the Costco
we have,
guys.
Another 20 from Hunter Allen. It's your local UPS driver catching you live and using you as my normal background noise.
Oh,
sick.
We love to hear it.
It is a rallying cry.
Was that Cher?
No, that was Phil.
Oh, okay. I got confused because he's wearing black.
It is a rallying cry to hear you guys tell us about how we can be your background noise today. But we got a bunch of stuff to get into today. First things first, Kim Kardashian is in trouble with a bunch of angry leftists on Twitter because she had the absolute gall to wish Ivanka Trump a happy birthday.
They're like, this ain't it, sis. Yikes.
Which inspires true discussion when somebody uses phrases like that.
The left is actual cancer.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that.
Her?
We're also going to talk about the fact that Saint West is out here making anti-Kamala memes.
Yeah, he's kind of a Gen Alpha icon.
Saint West?
Saint is their 8-year-old son.
Oh.
There's also Chicago, and there's one other, I forget.
There's North.
There's North, Saint, Chicago. And I know there's one other one. I forget.
That's
now.
the one
I feel
that's
bad.
lucky stays out of the public eye.
Yeah.
Does anyone know what anhero means?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we got more to get into today, guys.
Deep lore.
We're not just going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about a whole slew of new last-minute panicky political endorsements coming through just before the election from your favorite celebrities in Hollywood who are never working. They're always out campaigning for politicians that are going to take your money and limit your freedoms.
This is why people dress up as a job application on Halloween.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, by the way.
Yeah, we didn't say that.
We didn't even mention it because it's weird. The weather feels like like it's summer.
Plus, we did we did Halloween stuff yesterday.
Yeah. The hype is kind of lost now.
So we've got that. We also, again, guys, there is an absolute epidemic of dying influencers on social media right now.
We're not talking about their careers.
No, not
their careers. Yeah.
Influencers are actually
their
dying.
hearts are stopping.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Lots
get
of
into
insane ways.
Multiple stories.
Avoidable ways. Actually,
all of them were avoidable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into that. Also, Gen Z is so lazy they have to use apps to get them to wash themselves.
Yeah, to wash themselves.
No wonder why they're not having sex.
Yeah, there is a new self-care app for Gen Zers who can't motivate themselves to brush their teeth.
Psalm West.
Yes, I forgot that one.
They can't motivate themselves to brush their teeth.
So, all right, we got a bunch to get into, so we might as well get started.
Like
you
the
ready?
inside of your mouth isn't enough, like to motivate
The feeling
you?
of your teeth being dirty is not
Yeah,
enough to motivate
like-
you to brush your teeth. Yeah,
Ethan
this
Miller
is where
says
we're
it's
at.
snowing in Minnesota. Yeah, my dad told me last night that they were
Oh.
supposed to get snow today. So,
I got
That's
hair on
very
my
Minnesota.
teeth, but I'm not going to brush them.
you ready to go, guys?
Yeah, let's go.
Phil, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First things first, let's get right into it. Bad news for everyone who had to work Amazon Prime days. If you guys don't know what that is, it's when Amazon decides to offer you like even more deals on stuff.
It's all a racket anyway.
It's a huge
total
racket.
scam.
But what's funny about this is the joke is always, you work your ass off for a company and all you get is this pizza party.
Yeah.
Well, you don't even get the pizza party here now. They're like, look, we're not endorsing political candidates over at the Washington Post, and we are not giving you any freaking pizza parties over at the Amazon warehouse. This is a picture of what they got, which looks like they just got a bag of edibles, which I'm sure most of them would have liked a lot more.
Oh, I saw this.
It's not even good candy.
No.
It's like not candy. Amazon warehouse employees got a Starburst. Thanks for being a
And
superstar.
it was yellow.
Tootsie Rolls. Thanks for rolling with the punches. Extra gum. Thank you for working extra hard. Lifesavers. Thanks for being a lifesaver. And a pixie stick. Thanks for sticking with us.
I have thoughts on this beyond just. Here's the problem. Everyone's going to be mad at Jeff Bezos. You
this
should
is not Bezos'
You know who you should be
decision.
mad at? You should be mad at the HR executive who makes $200,000 a year, whose idea it was to put the little card in there with the folksy statements.
Yeah.
That's who you should be mad at.
Very out of touch.
The lady who's working in it's some non-job employee liaison.
And they're like,
departmental
"Man,
liaison between employees.
we just want to have bathroom breaks. Like, we didn't want candy. We just wanted toilet seats that aren't strategically placed to make us as uncomfortable as possible.
I saw this video this guy has where he's he talks about on his worst days at the Amazon warehouse, the worst items always end up being at the end of his shift, and he will post pictures of awful things that he has to put in boxes and
What, dildos?
yeah, basically stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's
that's
super
what's
depressing.
keeping the empire afloat.
Just I would actually be less insulted if I was them without the note on there. That's the worst part of this.
Yeah, I think so.
Sad day. And then of course, did you see that?
They should have included Zins.
10% of the Washington Post reader base left because they wouldn't endorse a political candidate.
Yeah,
No.
like
Yeah.
200,000 people.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if you work at the Amazon warehouse, I'm sorry that you didn't get more of a better gift for working so hard over Amazon.
We might
Prime
actually
Days.
have some people in the chat who work for Amazon.
Yeah, there should be at least one.
Let us know if you got a package of weird candy.
All right, so everyone saw the cringy picture the other day of Tim Walz.
Which one?
Of Tim Walz playing Madden with AOC.
With a Mountain
with
Dew at
the
his side.
strategically placed Mountain Dew that just pissed me
Wasn't
off.
open.
Rough.
Well, no, so
Well, they're
that's,
trying to win the gamer demographic. They're trying to win the gamer vote. And now Team Kamala has made its own Fortnite map. But here's the
guns.
catch. They've banned guns
Yeah.
in
That's-
Fortnite.
in Fortnite.
So what are you supposed to do?
Walk around.
What do you expect?
Is it all melee?
You know what it is? They probably just created their own 15-minute cities, and then you have to walk through it and go to the coffee shop.
It's exhausting, this stuff. It's so dumb.
They were encouraging gamers with captions urging them to fight for freedom and squad up to go vote.
I hate it.
Set to a soundtrack of Never Play by rapper Megan Thee Stallion.
There's just something more fake. Politics have always been fake, but it's never been more fake than it is right now.
Yeah, what were you saying?
You know the song that Megan Thee Stallion does where I think they're speaking Japanese in it?
I know she's a weeb, so that makes sense, but I'm not sure.
There's a part in it where she sounds like she's so out of breath and she's gonna be like gonna just keel over. She's
like in the actual,
like that was a choice
in the release. Yeah, in the release. Like,
so it was on purpose.
Yeah, they decided to leave the breaths in there, and I'm just like, this sounds like a heart attack.
So you think there was like some like avant-garde producer who thought it sounded good?
I don't know what they were thinking.
We have a 20 from Jose Quintana. Happy Halloween to the Ghost Empress, Optical Overlord, and the failed musician of All That Remains.
Cheers.
By the way, I'm going to get one of the hoodies soon. I must represent PCC for all to see, at least on the NYC subways. Long live PCC.
Good luck. Long live you on the NYC subways. Good luck with that one.
I'm actually putting a link in the description, or I'm sorry, in the live chat right now.
Yes.
Everyone can go and pick that up. I'm sending one, the first one.
Everyone is loving the stealth hoodie.
Yep. Sending you guys first the pullover, and then the second link there is for the zip hoodie for you weirdos who like zip hoodies.
Zip hoodies are superior.
No way.
I will stand
Never
by
will
this.
be. All right. So again, there's just nothing faker than this election. It is the fakest it's ever been in all respects.
Fake and gay.
Yes, it is.
Both.
It's very, very frustrating. I yearn for just a little bit of like honesty and a little bit of authenticity.
Stop yearning. You're never going to get it.
It's never going to happen. All right. So we do have
we have another 20 from the Manic Mustache. Late as usual, but had to report my daughter is a teacher, and she informed me that 3 boys in her school were sent home because they were dressed like Diddy. Even though y'all left me hanging in the Discord, stay toxic, my friends.
Thank you.
That's crazy.
What exactly is dressed like Diddy? Like
it's
wearing
funny
Balenciaga stuff, or
to Gen Alpha, like Diddy is now a synonym for gay.
Yeah,
and they're using it as a way to bring back homophobic jokes.
What it would be for me, it would be the red pants and jacket and white shirt that he wore in Mo Money, Mo Problems with Mace. I actually bought the red New York hat from... I broke my rule on all of the hats that I wear are relative to some type of Minnesota sports team. Some of them are minor league baseball teams that are from other states, but they're farm system teams for the Minnesota Twins. So
I didn't know you had a rule like that.
I have rules like that. So I broke that rule and bought the red New York fitted that Diddy and Mace wore. I did this a long time ago. Don't know if I'm going to wear that anymore.
I wonder if those costumes involved wearing blackface.
Well, we saw that. There's one thing you can do, however.
Gen Alpha is going to save us. I mean, you can only hope.
You can, however, wear whiteface if you are the host for ESPN.
Yeah.
Did you see this? Look at this realistic mask that he's wearing here.
No matter how I'm dressed, here at Inside the NFL, you just do your job. And so I'm the only coach on the set today. So what is Bill Belichick?
This is a mask?
It's a mask he's wearing.
It's not face paint.
Here's
it's a
the
mask.
Thing. If he's going to do this, he should have the 23-year-old girlfriend by his side. Where's the 23-year-old girlfriend?
And Bill Belichick loved this outfit so much, it's no longer his Halloween costume.
He's wearing like a Jordan Peterson-esque suit there.
All-day outfit.
But yeah, so people were having an argument on
clearly
Twitter.
He thought it was funny. Some people said that this is whiteface and there should be outrage about this. My culture is not your costume. If I had a nickel for every time Ryan Clark did whiteface, this is not being received very well.
Yeah,
Hashtag racism goes both ways. Oh, but if a white guy paints his face black, he's racist. Got it.
Does a mask make it different, though? I think a mask makes it different.
A mask? Oh no, a white person wearing a black mask.
You can't wear a black mask?
That would not be allowed.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
As long as it's not a mask of an actual person.
They would get fired, and then the network would have to issue an apology.
Ryan Clark is
firestorm.
He's an analyst who's also a known Trump basher, so that's why people have gone into the comments to talk about this.
I give 0 Fs, but it's Ryan Clark, and he would be so mad if someone dressed up as a black coach. LOL. But hey, do you, bro?
He'll be fine. Nothing's gonna happen to him.
I mean,
people can dish it out, but they can't take it.
Yeah, like somebody's like, "Is this offensive?" Like, this is absolutely not offensive to me at all, but I don't think it should be offensive either way.
Mm-hmm.
What's offensive is that we have to argue about it at all because society hasn't evolved.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
I just feel like white people should like ignore the fact that there are going to be racist things towards them, just because I feel like unless it's like directed at an individual where it actually hurts you.
Yeah.
You know, it's like yes, you should be upset if you find out that you were passed over for a job because of your race or something like that. But if someone's making jokes like that, like, it doesn't matter.
Well, here's my rebuttal to that is in Hollywood, there have been the aw shucks, look at the white people jokes for about 50 years.
Yeah.
That has conditioned them to just take the abuse that's thrown at them while being part of a system that says you can't punch down. So because you're making jokes about white people, it's okay, but they're not allowed to dish jokes back because that would fall.
Well, they should.
They should. That's the point, though. But I'm saying that's how we've gotten to the point that we're at now, is because I always use the example of there's this episode of Arrow where Oliver Queen throws like a jail party because he got arrested and has to wear an ankle monitor, and John Diggle, his bodyguard who's black, comes and goes, white people. And it's funny and it works in this context because I think rich people would be a better example of this, but that's the type of jab and nudge that they've leaned into for the last 50 or 60 years that you can't push back on going the other way.
The response to white people should just be like the smoke detector beep.
Yes. No, there you go.
Someone says that and you just go.
So that actually so when there was a power outage here the other day, and I had to change like 3 smoke detectors because I'm not letting
You had to take action.
I was like, I'm not letting that happen during the show. We would never live that down.
No.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Johnny Somali.
About a year ago, we talked about an IRL streamer named Johnny Somali who was terrorizing the public in Japan as a tourist. He was going on the subways, harassing strangers. He was also going on train cars specifically reserved for women in Japan. He also threatened to nuke Hiroshima and Nagasaki while he was in Japan, and he got in trouble with the law. We were hoping that would be the end of it. We were hoping that he would be locked up, but now he is continuing his reign of terror. He went on to South Korea.
They literally called him nuisance.
He is a living nuisance. He is a menace to society. Like Mizzy, all of these streamers, they terrorize people for entertainment value, and they tend to get away with it. But now he has enraged the South Korean government. And it's gotten to the point where South Korean streamers are hunting him down for revenge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. F around and find out.
Yeah, it's what's crazy is people will find any way to fame and money, and he just happened to find perhaps the most annoying way you could possibly take to do it.
He's been attacked in South Korea for the 3rd time already, and now he's been arrested by the government for his own protection.
He's basically been seconded to keep him from getting hurt by the streamers in South Korea.
Yeah, I want to show this video of what he was up to in Japan last year, just to give you a sense for how annoying this person is.
I gotta grab it.
This is the clip where he was threatening to drop nukes.
Here we go.
You know Hiroshima, Nagasaki. You know why you do this? Pearl Harbor. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Yes, man, nigga. Yes, Hiroshima.
Do we think he actually knows about Pearl Harbor?
About nigga, spy balloon.
Do we think he actually has researched Pearl Harbor at all?
What, Johnny Somali?
Yeah. Did he do so in school?
I don't know. I guess he had to ask random Japanese strangers on public transport why they were responsible for Pearl Harbor.
So when people think about the idea of like the disrespectful American tourist, what they think of is like the fat American with the fanny pack who's just disrespectful to everyone around them, when actually in the year 2024 this is the example of the disrespectful American tourist.
And obviously in Japan,
or Logan Paul,
on public transport, you are supposed to stay completely silent out of courtesy to other people on the train. Thank you.
Eating the cats, eat the cat, eat the cat. You're eating the dogs, you're eating
We have another 20 from Weary Traveler. $20 for Phil. We'll send the $20 to Phil. Don't worry.
We appreciate that. Yes.
Thank you.
It reminds me of the streamer that we talked about in the mall who ended up getting shot because he kept bothering the guy that just wanted nothing to do with him.
Oh, yeah, that was actually not too far away from here.
Yeah.
One of these YouTubers was trying to do pranks on strangers in the mall, and this guy was not having it, and he pulled out his gun and shot the YouTuber because he was coming at this guy threateningly as a prank. The YouTuber ends up in the hospital, and then as he is recovering from his gunshot wound in the hospital, he records another video saying that he's not going to give up on his dreams.
It was his calling in life, to be annoying.
Like, if getting shot for your prank videos isn't going to convince you to stop, like, you just need to be thrown in prison.
Is this all Logan Paul's fault?
Logan Paul was the most famous example of a YouTuber going to Japan specifically and going out of his way to be as disrespectful as possible.
Yeah.
It would have been a problem even if he hadn't ended up in the suicide forest.
Yeah.
In all of his previous
all of the videos were very disrespectful.
Yeah, he was running around screaming. Where like, I don't even care if he's like wearing crazy clothes or whatever, but he was going around screaming at people and just generally being a nuisance. And that's like what fuels them.
What's
like,
weird is
outrage fuels them.
It feels like there should be a time cap on that because it's not like you can do this forever. Like being a nuisance streamer feels like there's an age limit on there. After a certain point, it's even more infuriating.
He made a severe and continuous lapse in his judgment.
Yes,
and he's very sorry.
But I mean, but also you have to look at what the success it can lead to, because people will look at someone like Logan Paul, who now, you know, he's a nuisance in the food market as well with Prime and Lunchly.
Here's the funny thing, though. You can harass people in Western countries, and for the most part, they will turn a blind eye to it, and you will not face consequences for it. But if you do this in a place like Japan or in South Korea, they are not having it. The law enforcement in these countries has a 90% conviction rate. They take it very seriously. They care about maintaining order and cleanliness and politeness and silence. So this behavior will not be tolerated. And they do not take kindly to disrespectful tourists who don't know anything about their culture and just show up there expecting to run the place. As you can see in this sign that was put up by a local business in Japan, they say, "Apologize, we only speak Japanese. If you don't speak Japanese, perhaps you might think about going somewhere else." If you saw this sign posted up on an American business telling people to speak English, it would be the end of them. Yeah. They would get completely canceled on social media, like literal review bombed by psychos. Yeah. But in Japan, this is the commonplace attitude.
I think that's a completely reasonable attitude to have for a society, to say, look, if you're going to come to our society, then, you know, you should respect our society and respect our ways. I mean, there's an old phrase that goes, "When in Rome, do as the Romans do." I don't know that people are familiar with that or not, but like, that's something that you do to respect the place that you're going to. You don't go to a place and expect the place to cater to you.
I also do believe that this is another thing that's connected to Hollywood and predictive programming, which is that for the last 30 years, they make scenes where some guy in a convenience store, he's really, really ignorant, he's disrespectful, and he asks somebody, he says, "Speak English," but he does it in the most inconsiderate and rude way. And it's sort of taught everyone to be offended by the idea that you would speak English in your own country.
You're supposed to be ashamed of being white, ashamed of being American, and there's no way you can get away with expecting people to have even the most basic decency in Western countries. And he found out the hard way. We have a video of Johnny Somali getting punched in the face in South Korea by one of the locals.
So here he is going outside.
Like, they must know him by now.
어디가?
They're literally bullying this guy.
Cop right there too. If you see, there's a cop who came to break it up, probably
Yeah.
to save Johnny and take him into protective custody.
By Korean locals, this guy is called the nuisance streamer, filming himself being terrible, eating ramen in a supermarket, throwing the noodles around, sitting on the subway, blasting pornography and other sounds at full volume for clicks. Right now, he is in South Korea, where one of his stunts was molesting a memorial statue.
Yeah.
It didn't go over well with Koreans. He made national news, and many Koreans are now actively searching him out to beat him up.
Yep.
They're colluding with each other
You'd
to
think
find
it
his
was weird.
location.
You'd think it was weird, but then you remember about the Americans who went through and like licked the top of ice cream containers, and then put the top back on, which they ended up getting in trouble for, or some of them got in trouble for because it's actually like a health hazard.
I just
Yeah.
always think of Mizzy in these situations.
Mizzy?
He is a UK streamer who did similar stunts, and some of them, he would physically jump on people, like he would physically attack people for clicks. He also did a stunt where he would walk into random people's homes and
Oh, I saw that.
film
Yes.
himself. And he did an interview with Piers Morgan after the fact,
Yeah.
as this was making headlines, and he claimed that he was getting hate because he's black.
It's not because you're black,
Pull out the race
homie.
card. Remember that the statue that he got in trouble for molesting allegedly. I guess he convicted of this crime. I don't know.
He
whether
was
I
like
can say-
kissing and humping a statue.
The memorial honors South Korean victims of Japanese wartime sexual slavery. So he's picking the most offensive things you could possibly do.
One of the comments said, "I'm usually not one to condone violence, but good on the South Koreans for doing this."
I mean, this is how a lot of people still feel about the Paul brothers all these years later, no matter how they rebrand themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like Logan Paul is a very successful business owner now. He's, Jake Paul does his boxing. Logan Paul has been very successful in WWE, and a lot of people, they had to like overcome their natural dislike for him and say, despite
Right.
the fact that I think he's a shitty person, he's very good at what he does. So you're already setting yourself up at a disadvantage when people have to overcome something just to admit that you're good at what you do.
Yeah, I think that the Paul brothers had a lot of growing up to do, and there are still a lot of examples. People who are stuck in that holding pattern of doing whatever gets the most shock, whatever gets the most offense.
And we're
for
in
clout.
the first real generation where the kids who were born into this will have grown up with these streamers as influencers as they look to make their own mark in these, industries.
So don't say that Gen Alpha is going to save us, because this is the content that Gen Alpha is watching.
Yep. All right. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Let's see cute first.
Okay. All right. We will start with cute of the day first.
Because I'm honestly scared of my own cringe today.
Is it
Oh,
that bad?
no.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
All right. First things first here. This is from Corey, first ambassador to the moon. This little dude lives under my front steps. I feed him birdseed.
Oh.
He's like coming up to get some. He's like, yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Very cute.
That is very cute.
He's fat. You're making him fat.
Do one more here. This one is from Alex Making Beds. This is a cat of my friend, and they gave me permission to send this. Her name is Nupu, means bud, and loves belly rubs.
Aw.
She looks like she just
Very
got a belly
fluffy.
rub. Isn't it kind of rare to find a cat that actually likes belly rubs?
Yeah, mine was very temperamental about it. You had to catch her at the right moment.
Dogs like belly rubs, right?
Dogs do, yeah.
We know you hate cats, Phil.
But
we know.
No, here's the thing.
Thank you for reminding everyone. I appreciate it. I was going to, but you
don't need to
did the
say.
job.
Toast likes the belly rubs. The other two don't.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
She's a sweet one.
All right, let's move on then, shall we? Let's look at the cringe of the day, and it's if Mary is giving some type of disclaimer, I'm
Also, I
terrified.
promise this is safe for work content,
Okay.
just without the volume on.
Wait, so no volume?
No. Well, if you're at work right now, just don't play this out loud.
Okay, guys, you've gotten your discllaimer. If
Yeah.
you were at work, put your
Or
headphones.
if there are kids in the car, whatever.
Okay, here we go. You have been warned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, nice one, mate. Go on. You got some proper nice.
It says what Americans imagine doing it with a British person is like. For the people.
Buckles, ain't ya? Oh, right, my Yorkshire pudding.
Oh,
Ruined me like they ruined London in the Blitz. Yeah, that's it, mate. Oh, do it for Sean Bean.
That's it, mate. It's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, do it for Sean Bean. Sean Bean is watching us over there in the corner eating a pepperami. Don't let him down, mate. Do it for him. Oh, yeah, that's it. That's it. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Go on, son. Go on, lad. Go on, lad. Go on, lad. Go on, lad. Oh, crumpets. Oh, yeah, no.
Wow, that's horrible. I hate that.
That's like the worst cringe I've found in a while.
That was
Whatever you do,
terrible.
guys, don't think about Sean Bean during sex. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And ladies, don't think about Sean Bean during sex either, unless you're with Sean Bean.
I'm so sorry. I genuinely apologize.
All right. All right, let's get
Margaret
started.
Thatcher on a cold day. Yeah.
Sean Bean is not dying in this scene.
All right, we're gonna get started. If we're recovered by now, are we okay?
We're good.
All right.
My eyes are watering a little
All
bit,
right.
but we're good.
Kim Kardashian is facing a lot of backlash right now for her controversial friendship with Ivanka Trump. She recently posted a selfie with Ivanka on her Instagram story wishing her a happy birthday, saying, "No one's sweeter than you," with a bunch of heart emojis. And a lot of people feel this is inappropriate given that we are a week away, less than a week away now, from the election.
It's inappropriate for you to be friends with a person.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
actually how
seeing
they see the world.
Some,
It is
some comments.
broken brains.
Kim K posting this a week before the biggest election in history is a deliberate choice, and I'm not saying I expected any more from her or her family, but wow, just wow.
I mean, that's the heart of partisanship right there, as we know, because she worked with both the Biden administration and the Trump administration on prison reform.
Yeah, I mean, people are disgusting. I just hate them.
But the thing is in today's day and age, social media culture means that you have to like vet your friend group before you're allowed to post anything about anyone.
They always say the same stuff. Yikes. This ain't it.
Yikes is supposed
Oh,
to be
that's
like
not. They always have the same automated responses.
It is fair that this was posted by Popbase, and there is no more brain-rotted stan culture than comments in a Popbase tweet.
Yeah.
Which is always like, it's like Millie Bobby Brown, Ariana Grande endorses Kamala. Oh, she ate.
We have another comment. Sorry, but I don't care if they've known each other since preschool. She should have thought about how this would look so close to the election. It's really not a good look.
Why?
Because they're miserable. They're miserable people.
I mean,
who believe that people on the right are evil.
I can't wrap my head around why someone that doesn't know Kim Kardashian is saying you're so wrong for knowing and being friends with Ivanka Trump when Ivanka Trump is not Donald Trump.
Well,
it is just so absurdly ridiculous and so self-important, as if your stupid opinion matters.
But you understand, and we all understand, that they've spent the last 10 years painting, broad brushing, not just Donald Trump, but anybody in his orbit as a certain level of evil, and then get to simultaneously always call for unity as well. They get to call for unity and call you evil all at the same time.
Just disgusting.
I was talking to a friend recently who was explaining how they had told their friend that they were voting for Trump, and this person said, "Oh, I wouldn't be able to live with myself."
And are you able to live with yourself?
But they somehow
by being
don't
friends with a Trump supporter?
There's a weird disconnect there where they don't understand that what they're saying is actually supposed to paint them in an unbelievably unflattering light, but they somehow can get past it because they're friends, but are still willing to say that to their face. That's insane.
Yeah. You're not allowed to be friends with Trump supporters. You're not even allowed to be married to a Trump supporter if you're not one.
Yeah.
Actually, there are all of these posts about women voting for Kamala while their husbands are voting for Trump. And I'm seeing people saying, oh, this is so hypocritical. If you don't divorce your husband for being a Trump supporter, you might as well be one.
Divorce.
Yeah.
Divorce.
Break your family apart over politics. That sounds like a great idea.
These people are so disgusting.
And a lot of people are taking Kim Kardashian's post as a quiet endorsement of Trump.
I saw something earlier that said that Cheryl Hines is looking to divorce RFK Jr. not because of the Olivia Nuzzi situation, but because of his support for Trump.
I find that hard to believe, given that they were cozying up so much at the Al Smith dinner.
Well, as we know, I mean, these articles can be, it's always unnamed sources.
I hope that's not true. I do hope that's not true. You should never let politics destroy a friendship, but most especially not a family relationship or a marriage. Yeah. That's disgusting. Another comment said, I hate how attractive Ivanka is, knowing what her and her family stand for. Well, they hate to see her winning.
There's the crux of the matter right there. What her family stands for. She's not allowed to be her own person with her own beliefs. She has to be, mired by the conflict around her dad.
They're so mad that her face card doesn't decline. And it doesn't even mean that Kim Kardashian is a Trump supporter, actually. Recently, Kim had to delete her son Saint's YouTube channel because he was posting anti-Kamala memes on his YouTube shorts. You can see one of them here in this video.
Stupid. Crazy. Dangerous. Dumb.
It's birds of a feather. I mean, he's clearly his father's son. And I think that was probably the right choice because you don't want your kid to get a bunch of hate from random strangers on the internet because he's posting political content. Yeah. He is only like 8 years old, so he doesn't really know that people are watching what he does on the internet yet. He probably shouldn't have a phone
at all
to begin with, but that's
How old is he?
not. He's 8. Yeah,
Definitely.
that's not a good idea.
It's my opinion. I'm not raising anyone else's kids, but like you shouldn't let your kids have any kind of screen like that unsupervised at 8 years old.
Does this kind of speak more to maybe Kim doesn't understand just how much disdain there is for the guy that she's willing to post it, or does it speak to character that she's willing to do it even though she'll get the backlash?
I honestly imagine she thinks that he's a good guy because they did work together.
Yeah.
And he was receptive to her ideas. I'm sure he was very complimentary because when he's dealing with someone that's nice to him, he's very nice to them. He's very complimentary. When you're in the room with him, if I understand correctly, he's very charismatic, like most politicians are. So like, I imagine she's like, look, I know everybody hates him, but I've met him and he's nice. He's a nice guy. He was nice to me. He's not racist to Kanye. He wasn't racist to my kids, etc. He's like, she's probably like, I know that people see, and also she's had plenty of experience with negative press and plenty of experience with criticism from the internet. So I assume she's probably like, well, there's always going to be people that are going to have bad things to say. I've met the guy. I like him. He did criminal justice reform. He helped get people I care about out of prison. I'm sure that her opinion of Donald Trump is extremely positive, especially compared to people that don't know him and are only going by what the news tells them, and they're only going by what their friends say. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember her getting backlash for visiting the White House? I don't remember it being that negative of a response at the time.
No, I think it got kind of quashed by the fact that people enjoyed what she was there for. They supported the idea.
Wasn't he also caught on video like staring at her ass?
Was he?
I think he was getting a peek.
I remember Bill Clinton getting caught staring at Ariana Grande at what's her name's funeral.
Yeah, at Aretha Franklin's funeral.
Yeah,
right. You'll never leer as hard as Bill Clinton.
Dude's gonna be horny until the day he's in the ground.
Well, while Kim is doing this, Kanye, on the other hand, is planning to create a drone city.
I had to explain.
Now, if you didn't know what that means, don't worry. I didn't know either until this morning. He has plans to build a city in Beverly Hills. Yeah. He wants to build a new city called Drome.
Originally, Drome was supposed to be in the Middle East, and it was supposed to be like 1,000 acres.
He's planning to use his $35 million mansion in order to start a self-sustaining city that he once planned to build in the Middle East, but now he seems to imagine he'll build it in the west side of LA.
And his neighbors are like, we pay a lot of money for our mansions in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
You're not building Drome in our neighborhood.
His neighbors in Beverly Hills gated community are clearly telling TMZ it won't be happening in their backyard. They're very NIMBY now.
Oh, you know they're
With
gonna...
one person we spoke to calling the star delusional. I don't disagree.
Well,
You're not going to be starting a city in the middle of a different city.
well, plus we know the government would probably come and tear it down
Yeah.
anyways. Government
Yeah.
hates self-sustaining.
I only see this ending badly.
I mean, what it
Kanye.
is remember he bought that home next to Kim and it just sat and he never like actually built it. Like he bought the home, gutted it, and then it just sat there and he never did anything with it. He's a dreamer. That's what makes him so successful, is that he is a dreamer. And yes, many of the projects probably won't come to light, but there's a reason why. I was reading this article that said he settled his lawsuit with Adidas and no money changed hands. They've parted ways, I guess, as close to amicably as you can do.
Because they had to get rid of all this extra inventory.
And the sell-off of the Yeezy stock was still $235 million, which was about $100 million less than what he would have made in the previous quarter. So even after the media destroyed his name and reputation, it still made them a ton of money. So he's a dreamer. He thinks big. He dreams big. There's a reason for that.
Not so much a doer.
He's an artist, and an artist is going to have a certain mindset, and I find that in a lot of ways very endearing.
Yeah.
Kind of the opposite of the directors who want to do it with other people's money.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
directors for movies are like, I got a big dream. Will you give me $200 million to make this movie nobody wants to watch because it's my dream? Kanye's, for the most part, created a lot of things that people actually enjoy. It's just that not all of it ends up working. A lot of it falls through because you put a lot of irons in the fire and only some come out hot.
Yeah. Yeah, more power to him.
I want to know what the name, what Drome means though, because it's DROAM.
Yeah, I guess it's just dream, but with an O.
He will have to explain. Did you see the not to like Gen Zers were like trolling early ballots, and like they wrote in Dream. Somebody wrote in the streamer Dream and drew a little picture of him on the ballot.
No, I did not see
Yes.
that. I am glad that I didn't see that.
Yes.
That's awful.
All right. Well, you know what? I think that Saint West is going to have a long career of trolling ahead of him.
I think I'm going to vote for the Barron Trump and Saint West ticket. And what will that be? 2050 something.
Well, if we're still around, we'll do that.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
Let's do some super chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, Happy Halloween, Brett, Mary, and Phil. Remember, don't say Diddy's name 3 times in the mirror or he'll appear with 50-gallon drums of baby oil.
I do have a... Okay, so here's the thing, guys. And
It's a
this is
scary
like
thought.
a PSA in a bit of a way. They keep... Like, Diddy has now become like a weird scapegoat for everything every celebrity does. A lot of people don't realize that many of these actors are true believers, and they've been Democrats their whole lives. They believe in the policies. They're the definition of a limousine liberal, but they're all like, they would only do this if they were on the Diddy tapes. It's become a boogeyman for what everyone is doing. Like, there is no explanation for anything anymore.
Yeah,
except
like-
for you must be on the Diddy tapes.
George Clooney and Julia Roberts are not endorsing Kamala because they're on the Diddy tapes, I'm sorry to say.
Correct.
Shane H. Wilder said, oh, and apparently Campbell's is releasing candles in soup cans for Thanksgiving, scented like stuffing and green bean casserole.
I don't know how I feel about green bean casserole. It's
Don't like any of that.
I would eat those things, but I would not want to just smell them throughout my house. That sounds gross.
All right, do one more.
Greg Duvier said, it is Thursday, my weekly reminder to tell Phil to release All That Remains' new album.
It's coming.
That's all you got to say about it?
Yep.
That's that on that.
All right, let's hold off on the rest. Let's come back to the fact. Let's talk about how the celebrities in Hollywood are panicking.
This is our second to last show before the election, which is weird to think about. But in the meantime, celebrities are scrambling to get in their last minute endorsements of Kamala Harris. And first of which is Julia Roberts doing a voiceover for one of these Democrat political ads. encouraging women to secretly vote for Kamala if their husbands are Trump supporters. They're trying to tear apart people's marriages,
Oh,
essentially.
absolutely. And
So let's take a look at this absolutely insane video.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose.
The one place, the only
You can
place.
vote any way you want. And no
See
one
that?
will ever know.
So creepy.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris
that's
Walsh.
actively divisive, trying to tear apart men and women. It's actively
Yeah.
divisive, trying to tear apart families.
Yeah.
The Democrat Party actively wants bad things. They want people to lie to their spouse in order to vote for their preferred candidate. They want people to engage in or to consume pornography, like as much as they, as much as your heart desires. And look, I'm not saying, like, I'm not a Puritan. I'm not saying that, you're a bad person for watching porn or whatever, but I don't think that should be a pillar that a party is running on, right? Like, if you want to get people to vote against something like that, you should at least say, look, this is free speech. We're about free speech. The Democrats are in a position where they're not for free speech at all. They have they want to control social media. They want to have significant restrictions on what can be said on social media. They want to be able to. They really want X to go back to the way that it was under Twitter. So they can't make that argument. So they're really just selling Vice and saying, look, these things, if you don't vote for us, then you're not going to have access to these other things. So you should lie to your family. Yep. You should sit around and masturbate. I mean, it's absolutely mind-boggling how the left is just endorsing Vice in order to get the most base instincts motivate people to come out and vote. It's disgusting.
It's also the framing of it. It's the only place left for women.
And the two women at the voting booth giving knowing glances to each other.
Selling this image of the Handmaid's Tale through celebrities who will know nothing of what the average human being in America lives through on a daily basis.
If we're being realistic, I think there are more men who have to hide their vote for Trump from their wives than the other way around. George Clooney also narrated an ad for the same organization.
Here we go.
Come on, boys. Let's make America great again.
I can never get over the theater kid people that they like dress up as what they
you're
imagine men in America are like.
It's your turn, buddy.
Also, notice they always frame the American flag as something to hate.
Yes, they make sure they don't like America.
They make sure that the American flag is front and center in every anti-Trump ad because they understand that men that love Trump actually love America. So they hate you because you love the country that they're trying actively to run.
Before you cast your vote in this election, think about how it'll impact the people you care about the most.
Daddy!
Remember, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Do your patriotic duty.
You bet I did, brother.
What happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walsh.
Paid for, bud.
You have to vote
Grow
Kamala
some
so
balls.
that your 5-year-old daughter can get an abortion one day. Isn't that every father's dream?
Yeah, abort your grandchildren. Grow some balls. Like, if you're going to vote for Harris, then vote for Harris and have the courage of your convictions to tell people, yes, I did.
I think I have more respect for white dudes for Harris than for whatever
Whatever the hell that was.
It's so disgusting. It's like, oh, lie to people, be dishonest, hide. You're such like. They want you to be a coward. They want you to be weak. They want you to be a coward. If you're going to vote for Harris, at the very least, don't be a coward about it. Don't lie. Don't be an embarrassment to men.
There's also
more of an embarrassment to men.
I feel like there's also a weird form of like Gelman amnesia when it comes to celebrity endorsements like this, because if you cover a celebrity in a regular topic, and you read any news article that goes up on Yahoo about them, and it's a celebrity complaining about something, the comments are all, from a lot of times, from all sides of the aisle, are like, listen to these out of touch rich Hollywood types. They don't understand what it's like to be the common man, or they don't know what it's like to be me. But then they always get these people to run ads like this. And there's just this huge subsect of people that don't understand that when it comes to politics, the issues that a celebrity cares for are vastly different than what's going to, the policies that they're going to be happy with the government implementing are going to affect you very, very differently than it will them. Mm-hmm. And they just don't, it's like they can't connect the two. They don't understand your life in any normal context, and they especially don't understand your life in a political context.
Yeah. But that's the reason why they're emphasizing abortion so much, because it's like the only political issue that seems to matter to any of these celebrities specifically. It's
mind-boggling. I can't get over the fact that the Democrats are literally running on every vice there is. Lie, kill your baby, spend time masturbating.
We're running on divorce, infanticide, and pornography.
It is.
Like, that's literally the message.
Like, I'm not a religious person, but you could not get me to believe that the Democrats would be running on everything that you associate with Satanism. Like,
we got a 20 from Dreamcast Night. Is it just me, or does the whole stays in the booth ad blitz seem ominous? The Cathedral of Woke has a bad track record. It is not just you. It is definitely ominous. Well, more than that.
Don't worry, guys. A bunch of celebrities have also gone out of their way to pretend to be offended by Tony Hinchcliffe's comment.
I learned something new. Aubrey Plaza is a minority.
Here we go.
As a Puerto Rican woman, I just wanted to very quickly respond to the racist joke that was made at that Trump rally about Puerto Rico, where most of my family is from.
She never talks like this. She never has an accent.
Wasn't here to hear that disgusting remark, but if she was alive today, I think she would say, Tony Hinchcliffe, go f*** yourself. And yes, the Wall Street Journal can quote me on that.
Arf, arf, arf.
It's so weird how she just put on that accent out of nowhere. Like, she never talks like that. But now she's like, my abuelita. Like, shut up. We can all... You're doing it worse than Kamala. Ugh.
Yeah. I can't. It never ends, and it really is.
It's not over yet.
No,
Jennifer Aniston also posted her endorsement of Kamala the other day on Instagram with her I voted sticker. She said, today, not only did I vote for access to health care, reproductive freedom, equal rights, safe schools, and a fair economy, but also for sanity and human decency. I know we don't agree on everything, and that's the beauty of this country. But good Lord, aren't you tired of this negativity towards each other?
God.
The intimidation and constant threats to those who do not think the same as the other. The call is coming from inside the house.
It is mind-blowing. Like, just last night, Jimmy Kimmel made a joke, and it was about, like, telling Trump voters to vote 2 days late or whatever, basically telling them to, misinforming them so that way they miss their opportunity to vote. There was a Republican guy that was put in jail for like 4 years
Ricky
for that.
Vaughn.
That was his
handle at the time, yeah.
He went to jail for it.
For posting a meme.
And these idiot celebrities have the audacity to say that it's the right that's doing this. Like
it's gaslighting. Like gaslighting pure and simple.
Hillary Clinton straight up called Trump supporters deplorables. Mm-hmm. Like Biden just called them garbage. Like Tony Heathcliff or whatever his name is, he made a joke and he's a comedian.
Yep.
Like,
that's the best way that you can point out the media. The way the media has framed it is they never call him a comedian; they call him a speaker at a rally.
Yeah, and like it's just mind blowing that they do this. Infuriating. They have incredible audacity.
We would be remiss not to mention Arnold Schwarzenegger's endorsement of Kamala Harris as well, given that he has been a Republican for a long time.
I mean, he's the definition of a rhino.
Yeah.
A Republican winning in California was once in a
Yeah, he said, my time as governor taught me to love policy and ignore politics. I'm proud of the work I did to help clean up our air, create jobs, balance the budget, and make the biggest infrastructure investment in state history, and take power from the politicians and give it back to the people. That's policy. It requires working with the other side, not insulting them to win your next election. He's like, I'm talking to you, Joe.
When they do this, they pretend as if, this is one of the things that really, really bothers me. They pretend as if this has never happened on their side when they are the ones that are focusing on hatred for the other side's supporters far more than people on the right, than Trump is on the right. He is not focusing on, he's not calling Democrats dumb.
Well, I think what he's actually referring to is Biden's comments in this tweet. If I were to guess, based on the timing of this.
Also, this is the guy who said screw your freedoms during COVID, so remember that.
He said it's probably not a surprise that I hate politics more than ever, which if you're a normal person who isn't addicted to this crap, you probably understand. I want to tune out, but I can't, because rejecting the results of an election is as un-American as it gets. To someone like me who talks to people all over the world and still knows America is the shining city on a hill, calling America a trash can for the whole world is so unpatriotic. It makes me furious. And I will always be an American before I am a Republican. And that's why this week I am voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
But it is okay to call America systemically racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donald Trump says it's a trash can, and that's a bad thing. But then you have the entire left saying that America stole the land from the natives, the indigenous people or whatever, and that America's fundamentally racist, and that it is such. What's the word I'm looking for? There's such cognitive dissonance.
Yes.
It's mind-blowing. How can you say that it's bad that Trump says the country, said whatever the remark was, which is likely taken out of context, and at the same time sit there and bend the knee to people that say things like the United States is systemically racist and it's inherently bad?
I don't think it's cognitive dissonance. I think it's 110% intentional.
I think I was being too charitable to assume he was subtweeting Biden,
I don't think he is.
because obviously what Biden said was so much worse objectively, but they're going to make all the excuses for him. Yeah, that's just the last batch of celebrity endorsements before the final moment.
Unreal.
They can feel the clock is ticking and they're getting anxious about it, which is a good sign.
There is a distinct, they only talk about loving America right before election time. They do not care the rest of the, of the year.
Well, the language between the male celebrities versus the female celebrities is just a funny thing to see, because Jennifer Aniston is like, we just need more positivity and for everyone to hold hands and eat cake together. And I just have a lot of feelings. Yeah. But then all of the men are actually talking about issues, even if they're wrong.
Yeah.
The women are going off of vibes and feelings. All right, we're going to read some super chats. Hiroshima Otaru said the most passive-aggressive thank you gift ever. What, meaning what?
In relation to what?
I don't know. No Diggity 247 said in Minnesota, let's snow caribou coffee.
That's a good slogan. Let's snow.
Hope you're enjoying your caribou coffee. Professor Freakoff said people should do a Trump rally on Kamala's Fortnite map. They're going to shut it down. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, Brett, in Texas, it goes from 50 to 90 in a day. This zip hoodie is superior in these conditions. The stealth one is comfy. I'm wearing it right now.
Glad that you're wearing it.
That's the thing about a zip hoodie. It has all the versatility for the given moment,
Okay, I only like zip hoodies if I don't have to actually zip the hoodie up. I don't zip up the hoodie.
Exploding Pruny said the Japanese aren't responsible for Pearl Harbor. That was Michael Bay. Take your complaints up with him.
That's a good point.
I thought it was Beyonce who did Pearl Harbor. So
always reminds me of that audio commentary clip from Armageddon where Ben Affleck asks Michael Bay, like, why would it be easier to teach oil drillers how to be astronauts than teach astronauts how to drill for oil? And Michael was like, shut the fuck up. Do your job.
I do like that. I mean, considering look, man, people that were astronauts, especially before SpaceX, they were all superheroes. Yeah. They were all brilliant.
Buzz Aldrin just endorsed Trump.
Yeah, I saw that. That's great. But they were all superheroes, all in great health, all the most excellent of the excellent. And They should be able. They would be able to learn how to drill.
But the thing is
I just have to ask: are those astronauts still stuck in space?
Yes, till New Year's, right?
Oh my gosh!
I don't know.
They had to cast.
Can they do a mail-in ballot?
They did. They did. They had ballots from them retrieved.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
I wonder who they voted for, though.
You're right though, Phil, because back then an astronaut was seen as a superhero also because they were part of something greater, meaning, you know, space exploration for the American government, for the American people, whereas now we've privatized it.
Yeah.
Now you have to get SpaceX just to save people from outer space that Boeing gets stuck up there.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Tuxedo Mask said, "Hey yo, Mary, I'm single. Holla at me."
I bet you that line works all the time.
No.
Hey, he shot his shot.
Yeah, we applaud you for that, at least. Ben Ryder said, "If an influencer dies doing dumb things, I just view it as a Darwin Award nomination. I don't feel sorry for them at all. People will learn. Morbid? I don't care."
They won't. They won't learn. They won't learn. There's too many people in the world.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should get into that topic now. Influencers seem to be dying, dropping like flies. There is a huge epidemic of influencers doing stupid things for clout, and it turns into a fatality. Recently, 2 influencers drowned while they were on a boat from a yacht party, and it was because they refused to wear life vests. It would ruin their tan.
It sounds like we're being sarcastic, but we're being very, very serious.
No, it's completely real. These 2 women, 37 years old and 27 years old, died young because they ignored pleas to wear life preserver vests on an overcrowded boat that was taking them back to shore from a yacht party. It capsized, and it was just, the police commissioner said it was really because they were taking selfies and they didn't want the life preservers to ruin their photos.
Can I be honest here? Okay, so there's a lot of vanity here. This same thing happens when people tell me to wear a helmet skating, and I just say no.
Okay.
I say no, I'm not doing that.
Why? Because it ruins the video, I guess?
No, I just never have, and I never will. I'm used to not wearing one. I also don't take the risks that I did back. If something bad enough happened now where I died, it would be an unbelievably ridiculous circumstance because I just don't take the risks that I used to. But
it's definitely not the same thing as you taking thirst trap photos at the skate park.
But what I'm saying is it's pure vanity,
right?
In a lot of people. So, and the same thing would happen where if I died and I wasn't wearing a helmet, people in the community would probably be upset by it. But the average person who doesn't know anything about the industry or anything about the sports themselves would be like, "Well, what do you want me to do? He didn't try to protect himself."
I recently saw another headline that was similar, saying an OnlyFans model was found dead after a yacht party. She literally, her dead body was floating in that water.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there or the context, but it sounds like these deaths were totally avoidable.
Yeah.
And you exchanged an Instagram photo for your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops.
Hi, Phil.
I mean, it's not just oops. It's the type of thing where this is going to become more and more common now because these types of influencers do very, very well. And we've got more stories here. I think this one's probably
they just keep cropping up. It's crazy.
Keep cropping up. There was also the story of this guy is dubbed South Africa's Steve Irwin, who dies by being bit by a venomous snake.
He just takes videos of himself with like dangerous animals, and he ended up. I guess he's earned the Steve Irwin moniker, but that's dark.
Steve Irwin was a rare example where, despite the risks that he took with his job, he's so beloved that nobody's going to make those comments.
Yeah, that's awful, though. His wife had to release a statement. Yep. She said he had a venomous snake bite, which unfortunately, due to his allergy to snake venom. Okay, so wait, this guy is known as the South African Steve Irwin, and he knows that he has an allergy to snake venom? That's insane. Yep. Sent him straight into anaphylactic shock. Fortunately, we were able to rush him to the hospital, and then he ended up in the ICU, but he passed away after that. That's awful.
It all kind of feels like an offshoot of, you remember the videos that would happen when cell phones became, when like smartphones became very, very popular, and you'd see the person walking with their head down and they just like walk into a river?
No, I never saw anything
those?
like that. I would assume if I saw something like that, it's staged, right?
No, so back in the day, I mean, people would just be walking with their heads down because they're not paying attention to where they're going, and they would just like walk off the side.
Mm-hmm. We have a 20 from Gordon Shumway. An astronaut stuck on a space station because the current administration is too incompetent to get you home should be a no-brainer as to who they voted for, but you never know. People can be gluttons for punishment. Yeah, yep. I'm not so sure that they would vote for Trump for that reason, actually. Another 26-year-old influencer from the UK recently fell to his death while trying to create content from a 630-foot tall bridge in Spain.
And I see stuff like, look, there's free running and parkour people that take death-defying risks every day for videos. And I think I've brought this up on the show before, where you see the videos of the guys where they're running on the beams on the sides of buildings. Mm-hmm. And that is what I found is if you do any of the action sports, you look at any of the Red Bull videos where those dudes do. Have you seen the video recently where the biker runs a course on a moving train? So the train's moving this way, and he's literally going from train car to train car off ramps.
No,
and stuff like that.
Yes, I did. I saw that.
So you did see this. So this is the type of thing where it's nothing but positivity in the comments and stuff like that. But once you get into the type of videos where a dude's running and jumping from building beam to building beam, the comments are all, bro, you have parents, I'm sure, that love you. Why are you doing this? Because there is no surviving it if he falls.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there is no other outcome. The guy on the train, it's dangerous, but it's very possible that, you know, he's been doing it a long time. If he falls, he'll fall the right way and save himself. Mm-hmm. But there is no saving yourself if you miss the beam.
Yeah, I see a lot of these parkour influencers. I think one of them was allowed to climb up the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
To the very peak and filming himself like no hands on the top. And I just think, like, don't you care about your life? But at the same time, I can't say it's not impressive.
Well, that's the thing. And there's a bit of a disconnect for topics like this for the people who are doing something dangerous where if it's literally just free climbing and stuff. It's about the content, but for a lot of them, it's also about pushing themselves to a level that they've never made it before. And that's hardwired into men's brain, especially.
True.
It's kind of like exploration in a lot of ways. Like the goal is to push yourself beyond your limits and find, you know, a new precipice. And I get that, but there gets to be a discussion that's had, whereas it actually boils down to a lot of times people would say it's more pure to do it without making content out of it, which is insane.
But it's true.
But it's insane. Like nobody in their right, pragmatically, nobody in their right mind is doing that.
People are going to look down more on the behavior of the influencers who drowned because the life preservers weren't. They didn't want the life preservers in their selfies. They're not going to look down as much on the stunt performer who died doing a stunt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can see they were both after the same thing, which is clout.
Exactly. Yep. So
just different methods.
Yeah, there's a 20 there.
That's Stanzatastic said left lane is for crime. There is no off ramp. Phil, are there any other car/highway analogies we can use? But seriously, I can't see an off ramp and feeling black pilled. How screwed are we? Boom or doom?
Okay, so
hi Bert, hi Morty.
So there is an off ramp, and to be honest with you, there's a lot of white pills that I've seen recently. We were talking about one last night, the fact that Jeff Bezos said that the Washington Post isn't going to endorse Kamala Harris, and they're going to try to hire more conservatives, and that he thinks that it's bad that the media has become so purely left-leaning. Now, there's going to be people that are going to be outraged about that. There's going to be pushback. But the fact that that the Washington Post and multiple other outlets have also decided we're not going to endorse, we're going to try to be more middle of the road. That's a big white pill.
Yeah.
Because when Musk bought X, that was a huge white pill. If Donald Trump does win, I'm not saying that I think he's going to, but if he does win next week, that's a huge white pill. So I think that there's a lot of things that we can look to give us hope. There's going to be pushback. There's going to be fighting. But I think that a lot of people are really, really tired of the way the left behaves. I think there's going to be a serious, and particularly if Kamala Harris loses, the biggest white pill is going to be that the Democrat Party is going to have an absolute civil war inside of it, because the regular Democrats are going to look at the progressives and say, you're insane, and you're also the reason we lost. They're going to say men cannot become women, women cannot become men. They're going to say having no borders is not an option anymore. We have to have serious change. 70% or more of the American people believe that there should be deportations, not just stop the flow of immigrants coming in, but 70% of Americans have said, we think we should round up the illegal aliens and kick them out. So these are all significant white pills. And I am cautiously hopeful, because I do think that a lot of bad things can happen. And if Kamala Harris does end up in the office of the president next year, I think that we're going to have a serious uphill climb. And I think that there is going to be some significant pushback, and there's going to be people going to jail that don't need to go to jail, and there's going to be there's going to be attempts to change the structure of the government, like things like the Electoral College or expand the Supreme Court or whatever. But if Donald Trump wins, I think things will continue to move in the direction that we're seeing, or that we have been seeing for the past year. So there's a lot of things to be hopeful about. There's nothing that I can say, man, this is definite, but there's definitely reasons to hope. So
we got another 20 from Cesario JPN. On topic, Johnny Smalley got knocked out in South Korea by a former South Korean SEAL team equivalent after harassing the locals and egging them to find him. Johnny FAFO in real life.
Good. Given
males in South Korea do compulsory armed service.
Good
point. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
It's very, very good that he got knocked out.
But do you feel about the other stories that it's an F around and find out situation? The influencers dying. Yeah. Well, I don't feel like they deserve it, but I feel like it's sad when someone loses their life, obviously in an attempt to get clout. It's, I think, even more sad when you waste your life.
Yes.
Not that you die doing it, but that you like kind of kill your soul.
This is even worse, because this one's affecting the youth, which is the subway surfing trend.
Have you guys seen the Subway Surfers video game? Yes. It's always on these shorts, these reels, where in order to keep your attention, they play gameplay of this mobile game for you to look at while it like plays
one of my
voiceover of Am I the A-hole or whatever.
One of my favorite channels is No One Said This, and it's AI deepfake videos of Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan and David Goggins, and it's always paired with Subway Surfers video.
Yeah, so this is a new trend where kids are trying to recreate Subway Surfers in real life. If you're not familiar with the game, your character runs on top of trains.
Yep.
So this says thrill-seeking kids and teens are catching rides on top of moving trains in a social media trend dubbed Subway Surfing, an ode to the mobile gang. And this says a 13-year-old died attempting this challenge in New York just a few days ago. Then days later in the same area, a 13-year-old girl also died participating in the trend, and her friend was hospitalized.
So they said between 2018 and 2022 in New York City, 5 people total died from train accidents. And in 2023 alone, 4 people have died of train accidents.
It looks like, the trend has gone so far that one parent even tried to sue TikTok after her son died trying the Subway Surfing trend last year. I don't feel like this is TikTok's fault. You're the parent.
You're the parent. Yep, this is not the
We have an $80 super chat. Thank you from That Stanzatastic. Sorry for hard derailing. Here's the rest of A Crisis Party. I love y'all, and thank you for taking the time, y'all. Side note, remind me if we see y'all next week or no.
We will
Next
not. Okay,
week,
so no, we're going to be moving this studio from here over to Freedama Stand.
Oh, it's next week?
Yep. So while you guys are out, doing all election stuff, we'll be getting the stuff moved over there and getting everything set up. It's going to be a heck of a process. We are going to have clips from the show coming out the whole week to make sure that the algorithm doesn't completely forget us by the end of it. But we're going to do our best. So stay tuned, and we'll make sure we'll put a community note up. We'll post it on the social media accounts. But we will have clips coming out, but no live shows.
I just think if your kid is participating in a trend like this, you should be a more present parent.
I feel for the parents.
Your child is literally running on top of a moving train, and you're blaming a media company.
I do not like her blaming the social media companies, but I do have a lot of sympathy for the parents who... remember last week we talked about the suicidal teen from the AI, that was talking to the AI chatbot, and there's just so much technology that seems to just weasel its way into kids' lives.
They have no concept of life and death because their whole life is two-dimensional. Like that kid who was talking to the chatbot, he genuinely believed that once he shot himself, he would end up in this other dimension with Daenerys Targaryen. Like no concept of life or death.
I feel
no
awful.
Concept of finality.
I feel awful for the parents, but I also understand that it is not the social media company. It is not TikTok's fault that the fix starts at home.
Yeah. Eric Adams has like the craziest job ever because he really had to release a statement about this. Yep. He said, heartbroken to hear that subway surfing and the pursuit of social media clout has stolen another life. We are doing everything we can to raise awareness against this dangerous trend, but we need all New Yorkers and our social media companies to do their part too. No post is worth your future.
This is like when TikTok had to put out the disclaimer for people making content during the hurricane.
Yeah.
Because people were trying to make creative content while their life was in danger.
But that's why these protections exist for big tech companies. They're not legally liable for the content that gets posted because they are platforms, not publishers.
Yeah.
So TikTok is not going to be held accountable for this.
Let's do some super chats.
Holly Movie Star said, would be awesome to see Logan Paul run around screaming, I am Michael Bay while violating the Vandalism Act in Singapore to get caned to go viral. I saw this post of an airport in Singapore, and it's like immaculate. And the caption was, Singapore has this because they beat petty criminals with a cane until they bleed. I'll never forget that post. Nate said, I love it. Beat stupid people more often. Okay, we disavow violence, but we also disavow what Johnny Smalley was doing. Austin Brown said, hello to my favorite polychromatically challenged moon-faced assassin of joy and her handlers. Stay blessed, my friends.
That was a big one.
Wow. I don't know if I should feel complimented or insulted. Shane H. Wilder said, if Mary is scared of the cringe, it must be bad.
Yeah.
And then he said it was bad.
There you go.
Confirmed.
Do one more.
TJ187 said crumpets.
That's what it was. All right.
I'm sorry again. I will never live it down.
So first we were talking about all of the ways in which social media could be affecting all of us, including Gen Z. Now we've got the depressed side of Gen Z.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of this trend, but Gen Z is really into bed rotting right now. Have you heard of it?
I can't.
Bed rotting? It's about what it sounds like. Yeah. You're rotting in your bed. That's their new hobby. Gen Z bed rotting refers to a trend where young adults choose to spend extended periods of time in bed, often for self-care and relaxation.
It's the worst thing for you.
Self-care is one of the worst trends that's ever happened to modern day society.
We have a 20 real quick from Short Bus Bully. You can't convince me that these deadly trends aren't the result of the same societal rot that has celebrities talking about your daughter's future abortion.
Yeah.
It is all connected.
Yep. However tenuously, it is all connected.
Self-care is one of the most abused terms ever, because you can do something that's objectively self-destructive, and as long as you call it self-care, well, you're valid for that.
Exactly.
This phenomenon has gained popularity on TikTok. This is your morning routine. You wake up and then you just scroll your For You page for hours. Rotting.
Yeah.
Brain rotting. Bed rotting.
Get up and get out of bed.
Thank you guys.
So this is
that is how you like end up depressed. One of the things, one of the best ways to avoid being depressed is get up out of bed and get dressed. You can't just lay in bed and stay in your pajamas. That leads to depression. It's one of the
make your
bed's good. Yeah. Yep. It leads to depression. If you're not depressed, it only makes your depression worse. If you are depressed, get up, get out of bed, get dressed, like go. Even that's why like old people go to McDonald's and have coffee, or they go to the mall and walk.
Yeah.
It's literally just so that way they get up and get out of bed, because if you don't, you end up with like significant depression and you end up laying around and like your body starts to fall apart. It's so incredibly bad for you.
So for me, what I've noticed is like if life gets busy and I won't get a chance to get out and skate for a week or something like that. And by the end of that week, it's like it builds up and you don't realize how bad it's gotten until that week is over. And then when I finally get back out and skate, it's like my brain turns back on.
Recalibrates you.
And you feel revitalized. But it doesn't just happen there. You can offset that with other things. I'm saying like as simple as 25 push-ups, 25 sit-ups. Anything to cause some type of physical exertion to your body.
You need to understand, self-care is the enemy of self-improvement.
Yep.
Yes.
They're polar opposites.
That's really good. That's really, really good. It's true.
So you can call bed rotting self-care because whatever you're doing that feels good in the moment is self-care. The reason why it's the enemy of self-improvement is because in order to improve yourself, you have to suffer.
Yep.
For a temporary time, and then you can get a long-term benefit. That's what Gen Z can't seem to understand.
And creeping modernity tells you to indulge yourself in your whims at every moment.
You gotta
all
love
the time.
the irony. Like, you wake up and you're like, I'm so depressed. I know what'll make me feel good right now. I'm gonna open my phone and scroll my TikTok For You page for 5 hours.
Will not make you feel better.
It makes me feel good. So that means it's self-care, right?
No, it will make you feel worse.
That sounds logical to me. But Gen Z has found a creative solution to their depression and anxiety with an app called Finch Care, where you essentially feed a Tamagotchi character by doing self-care tasks. I see this ad. It says, I was addicted to social media and depressed, so I found an app that turns simple self-care tasks like this, brushing your teeth, into a game to give my brain the dopamine it craves. Take out the trash, that's 7 points. Floss my teeth, that's 6 points. It's crazy how I'm like 245% happier now. I wish I'd found this sooner. So I went and looked more into this app called Finch Care. And they say Finch was started by two friends who struggled with anxiety and depression and found self-care challenging to stick with. We decided to build Finch with the mission to make self-care fun and accessible after seeing many others share similar struggles.
Accessible, as if it's somehow prohibitive to brush your teeth.
Your toothbrush is 10 steps outside of your bedroom. It's very accessible.
So disgusting.
But people have such learned helplessness now that they need to download an app on their phone to motivate them to do something as basic as brushing your teeth.
I think this is completely my own interpretation. I think drugs and prescription drugs play a huge role.
For Gen Z?
For prescription drugs. I'm talking antidepressants, anti-anxiety medications, which kill your motivation to do anything.
We have a 20 from Anti-Productive Man. As a millennial, self-care has a much different, much stickier meaning.
Well,
yikes.
My point being is that if you're on a bunch of medications and it's tied to your emotional regulation, it can become very, very difficult to do even the simplest tasks when everything's tethered to this idea that you have to take your meds every day and you have to get in a routine and all of this stuff. And what I learned when I got sober was like all the things that seemed very, very onerous and difficult to do that everybody else just seemed to do, your body's natural ability to rebound in energy picks up. Like I say now, like I get up on a Saturday, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to just have a lazy sit. And that lasts for about 6 seconds, and then I need to go do something. I cannot just sit around.
Thank you for the crisis party.
Thank you, guys.
Crisis parties are self-care.
They are. Crisis parties are self-care for us.
Well, the dancing part helps. I think we really underestimate how much the COVID lockdown period collectively broke Gen Z's brain. Because I remember when I downloaded TikTok during lockdowns, I would see videos from people my age saying, I brushed my teeth for the first time this month. Give me some positivity in the comments. And people would really comment like, I'm so happy for you. Don't feel any pressure to brush your teeth tomorrow. Just be happy about this win.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. They should be shamed. We need to bring shame back. I can't believe that.
Which is weird because for me, I was more active during COVID than any other time.
Some people used lockdown to improve themselves, and other people used lockdown to self-care.
One of the worst was like I was going out because I was skating every day. I'd get up at 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning and go skate. I was not working at the time. I had about a month between jobs before I got another job. I got very lucky. I got work during COVID. And I'm like going past like the local park and the basketball hoops are like boarded, like the basketball hoops are boarded over so you can't actually shoot hoops. I'm like, so just imagine all these people who want to get out, get some physical activity, and the government's like, no, not on my watch.
Yeah. I saw one post about this. Sometimes you have to be a bit mentally ill to get mentally well.
No.
So if thinking Naruto would be proud of you for brushing your teeth is what gets you to brush your teeth, well, grab that toothbrush. This is actual just schizophrenia at this point. Like you need a fictional character on your phone to convince you to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
Like, you need an app to micromanage you and basically parent you as an adult.
And self-care is really just a word for overindulgence now anyways.
Exactly, yes.
Did you remember this one from Ryan Long? If men did self-care like women.
Yesterday, I was gonna go to the gym, but then I realized I need to take care of myself. So I went home, lit some candles, took a bath, and ate a whole bar of fudge.
Self-care.
Self-care vibes.
Yesterday, I was gonna go to work, but honestly just stayed home. Also took a bath, drank like 3 or 4 bottles of boxed wine, just really got tuned up. Doing something for me, you know?
Self-care, bro. Hey guys, what's up? It's Nima. You haven't seen me on here in about 4 or 5 years. I took a hiatus for self-care. Thank you, both of you, for watching. Self-care.
Were you supposed to be at work right now?
Yeah, but I took a mental health day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm currently on a mental health day.
No.
Yes. Self-care, dude.
Self-care.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Retail therapy. Oh my God.
Okay. That's the point, right?
Right.
That's self-care. Any hobby that's overindulgent and is bad for you physically or bad for your pocketbook, it's self-care.
Yeah, the self-indulgence of your every whim is a prime characteristic of Gen Z. And I noticed this lack of self-discipline is going to severely handicap this generation. The lack of self-discipline is going to lead to the downfall of multiple major industries, I think, because at this point, I'm seeing posts from Gen Z college students saying they're incapable of writing an essay without ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Yes, that doesn't.
This girl on TikTok, she said, when even using ChatGPT feels like too much work at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you're too lazy to even put a prompt into an AI to write your essay for you.
I think that's part of, I think that the brain has been hijacked by technology and the ease in which technology works, that writing used to be a more like involved process with your brain. And now so much, remember we talked that Gen Z is also, they don't know how computers work anymore either.
Yeah,
because they're living on their phones and they don't actually know how computers work. They've never actually installed a program on a computer. They only really know how apps work.
That's literally me, because when I started using the internet, it was already after the point where everything became more user friendly, and millennials, on the other hand, had to figure everything out for themselves and learn how to like code so that they could design their MySpace page. Like, I was not part of that generation. So, I would never even enjoy knowing that I turned in fake work from an AI. Like, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I turned in an essay written by a robot. Because I feel proud of writing something that actually came from my own original thought.
I think part of it is also discipline that requires you to make it about something that actually matters to you. So I am one of those people where when I have to write something that's required of me, it's basically the end of the world and it takes forever. But I wrote like an enormous...
Yeah, I was like, I hope that was cathartic for you.
It was. I wrote this enormous, like, multi-paragraph review of a single episode of television and tried to tie it back in to Hollywood's creeping feminism. And I did that at 3 a.m. and it took like 45 minutes when you count in all the spelling mistakes that had to be fixed or typographical errors. But that's something I care about, right? The hard part for most of them would be doing it for something that they are not passionate about. Those same people that are complaining about writing an essay that they can't even do with ChatGPT probably could write a 10,000-word essay about their favorite Stan account if they wanted to.
Phil, would you use AI in your music ever?
No, not in All That Remains, no.
Are you like ethically opposed to it, or why do you say that?
So I can't actually say no because I don't know what AI is going to be like in 5 years. So if there is something that makes making music easier, then yes. But I would want to be writing it. I would want to be writing the lyrics. I would want to be, singing the parts. If there's stuff that makes editing easier, that's fine.
You wouldn't just like download your voice into one of these apps.
No.
That scares me to even think about.
That's so true though, because they now have such good AI covers of songs that what you realize is you've lost all the attempt at any type of artistic break from the norm. So you'll hear one artist you've heard cover another artist's song, and it takes all the same lines. It follows the same runs on the vocal pattern, whereas that artist that you're listening to who's supposedly covering it might have done it in a different way. There's all sorts of YouTube channels, whether it's BBC One, that get artists to cover other art, like famous artists to cover other artists' work, and they either get them to do acoustic sets or stuff like that. And that's more interesting because you don't know what it's actually going to be like. Yep. As I've said before, my favorite genre is Kanye West's acoustic covers, AI Kanye West acoustic covers of like emo songs.
That's your Brett recommends for the day because it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish up these super chats. Cartoon Post said, I can kind of see the hear me out about the letter 8 from a guy's perspective. Just flip it on its side and squint your eyes and imagine a pair of boobs. Okay. Yeah, the hear me out trend. Have you seen this, Phil?
You'll have to explain to Phil what hear me out is.
No.
It's a trend on TikTok where you bake a cake and then you print out pictures of inanimate objects or cartoon characters that you're sexually attracted to, and you put them in the cake. And
inside the cake.
Yeah, you put them in the cake on a stick. And I saw that apparently women are attracted to triangles and like octagons and stuff and like numbers. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening, but it's related to birth control.
Women be like, men only want one thing and it's disgusting. But what they actually meant was what women want is to have sex with multiple things that aren't even human.
Yeah. Just thought I'd share.
Sick.
Drewish AF of God's Army said, winter is coming, as am I, for Sean Bean.
Game of Bones.
Nate said, women choose who splooges in them. This argument is absolutely stupid.
He actually,
agree.
If I remember correctly, like after he sent that in the regular chat, he said, you don't have to read that. I'm sorry. I got angry.
Nah, but you were right. You were right. Scuzzlebutt said, no one should care about the opinions of an adult pretender.
Okay, I'm gonna say that you are right. You should never care about the opinions of actors or celebrities. it's disingenuous to call them adult pretenders, even if it's an accurate term. Their job involves more than that. I'm just saying.
It isn't easy.
It's one of the real skill set here, boys, is to both deride them for thinking we should care about their political opinions while not deriding their job. Because I love what they do. It would be hypocritical for me to love cinema, love movies, love television, and then degrade what they do for a living. I can still degrade them for saying that they're disconnected from reality and in a lot of ways kind of evil for trying to influence the average everyday American to vote for policies that would usually only affect them rather than the celebrities that they are. So...
Who is this chick out there who's like, you know what? I was going to vote for Trump, but Julia Roberts.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Shane H. Wilder said, lying is always conducive to a strong, loving relationship, right?
Of course. Right? Yeah, that's great.
Corey Anderson said, Brett looking pretty fly today. How does OC let you out of the house? Mary... You were a breath of fresh air, and Phil, you have the voice of an angel.
Cheers. No offense, but Brett looks the same like every day.
I look the same every day.
I
dress
shirt.
Politically neutral, and you can't tell what day of the week it is based on what I'm wearing.
I can't tell when you repeat an outfit because it's just, a shirt.
It's because my closet, it's a whole row of black shirts that are for work or daily stuff. Then there's the white shirts for skating, the gray shirts for skating, patterned shirts that I never wear but still own,
I could wear pajama pants every day to work.
But she doesn't.
I don't. It's a mindset thing.
It goes back to Mary doesn't believe in self-care, so she doesn't wear pajamas to work.
The fact that Gen Z constantly wears pajama pants or sweatpants.
And slides with socks.
I hate it.
Look, my
nephews do it all the time, and I wish they wouldn't. I thought that wearing jeans all the time was dressing down.
Mm-hmm. That was too casual for you.
Me and my joggers feel called out.
Quietly sips Monster Energy.
They're pajamas.
Feeling judged.
Mine are not pajamas.
Carlos Lima said, love you guys. You're awesome. Phil, you look like WWE legend The Undertaker.
Do I?
Have you heard that before?
No. He's significantly taller than me.
He's very tall. He's like 6'10".
He's like twice the size of me almost.
He can pick you up.
So
clearly.
Here's a Brett recommends. I've recommended The Undertaker's podcast because one of the greatest things to ever happen in the world is the fact that the dead man, The Undertaker, made a career pivot after 30 years of wrestling to become a YouTuber, of all things. But beyond just The Undertaker's podcast, the wrestler Maven has his own podcast that is absolutely fantastic, and I recommend everyone go and check that one out. He does the great things where people ask questions and he pulls it's like, what do WWE wrestlers? And then you pull the strip off and it asks the question. He does a lot of those, and I spend a lot of time watching those shorts.
Jerry said, I'll listen the next day, but what is your favorite slasher movie? I like Halloween too. I'm not really into slasher movies, so I don't have one.
When I was on with Force of Light, I ranked the Scream movies, not including 5 and 6, 1, 2, 4, 3. You should watch them this holiday in that order. Watch Scream 4 in particular for its very, very prescient take on the idea of becoming social media famous back in the year 2011. When this came out, where she
Ahead of its time.
She becomes a serial killer because she's jealous that Sydney became famous because Sydney's friends all got murdered and she didn't, which is an insane thing that you can actually believe would happen today. And she says, I don't need friends, I need fans. Okay, very
Phil,
impressive.
do you have a favorite slasher movie?
I'm partial to the first few Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and also stuff like the Friday the 13th, the first couple of them as well. Like the very gory kind of stuff is what I was into. So,
or also, if you have the time, watch the original 1998 I Know What You Did Last Summer, if for no other reason than to watch the extended opening helicopter shot of the Bluffs to the Typo Negative song.
Vibes.
You will not regret it.
Corey Anderson said, watching this on a 30-minute delay, but can we get a Do It for Sean Bean Crisis Party dance song?
We might be able to work
Is that what
out.
we're going to come back with?
I'll
Our
have
new
to,
crisis party sound?
I'll have to think about that during the move.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that at all.
I don't want to think about it at all either.
For Sean Bean.
Pinch Me said, "Hey Mary, I was going through the Bible and I noticed in the book of Numbers that yours is not in there. May I get?"
May I get?
No. That's creative though. I haven't heard that before. Tacti Platty said, "Phil, if Dems lose, think they'll stop flirting with socialism/communism? Also, have you seen the Socialist HQ in Martinsburg?"
I have not.
There's such a thing?
I have not seen that.
Wow.
I hope I don't. I don't think that they will stop flirting with it. I do think that there will be significant... I think there will be significant pullback of the progressive
policy-wise
kind of agenda. Yeah, because look, the Democrats, historically, the Democrats had been for the working people and et cetera. And as they became more openly socialist, they had more of the big business and more of the limousine liberals kind of falling into their camp. And the things that are unpopular, like the trans stuff, is unpopular with only the most committed and only the most committed in the Democrat base are actually openly like, hey, this is cool. I have a lot of friends that were, 5 years ago would never have said this, but they're like, I don't know what the hell's going on with the party when they're saying that like boys can become girls. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. Those kind of things where you're actually questioning like reality, like that kind of stuff turns people off significantly. I think that that's going to actually continue to drive a wedge between your normal Democrats and your progressives.
Yeah.
Shane H. Wilder said, "How do parents not know what their kids are doing? They need to take responsibility, not blame social media or video games."
Yeah, like I said, I can empathize or I can sympathize for what they're going through without saying that they should be suing these companies, because they shouldn't be suing these companies.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder, "I literally wake up, pray, read, exercise, shower, dress, eat, go to work, write, meme, schedule meme drops, brush, pray, go to sleep. It's not hard."
The thing is, though, when you get depressed, it does start to feel like just an endless barrage of tasks, and it can be very blackpilling because you're not getting the dopamine hit that tells you, like, I've accomplished something, because it's not making it to your brain. So it just gets harder and harder to do, which I can empathize with. But yeah,
it's because we don't have to do anything to survive anymore.
Yes, in a lot of ways.
That's really what it is.
In a lot of ways.
If you had to do these things, you would do them.
I mean, that's also the reason why there's so many, like the idea of boys can become girls and girls can become boys. These are viewpoints that are a luxury in society.
Yeah.
A society that doesn't have to really want for anything.
Red Snow said, "Self-care all over that like button, crisis actors."
Well, liking this episode, that's self-care in and of itself.
Yeah.
So you should like this episode and you should subscribe to this channel. Subscribing to PCC is self-care.
Also, buying the PCC stealth hoodie is self-care.
Self-care.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Dying to yourself over self-care." Completely agree.
Yep.
Based. Edmundo Jr. Petruzziello said, "I'll have you know that putting myself in debt only to beg a robot to write my paper for me has been extremely beneficial to me." Happy Thursday, PCC.
Thank you.
I think it's also the college students feel less bad about cheating because they're getting cheated and they know it. Yeah. Going to college is no longer a stable pathway to a career that will support you or support a family.
People
even further
change
down
jobs
the line.
an average of once every 2 years now, and college is a debt trap.
They kind of just are. They kind of feel like, I'm being lied to, I'm being cheated, so why shouldn't I be a liar?
Yep.
And just play the game. Pete Donovan said, "Phil, since you like Taylor Swift's music, have you heard the Ryan Adams Adams song cover of 1989? reworking it as an 80s rock album in the style of Bruce Springsteen and the Smiths was brilliant.
I've heard some of this stuff, and I think I like the Taylor Swift versions better.
See what I mean when I say that he reworked it in his own way, and where the AI cover would like just copy it beat for beat and use somebody else's voice?
Phil, if you're a true Swiftie, can you rank her albums?
I'm not a true Swiftie because I couldn't rank all of her albums, but like my two favorite albums are Red in 1989 and then Reputation. Or actually 1989, then Red, then Reputation. Or those are my favorites.
Okay, so you just don't listen to her debut country music?
I don't really, and I haven't listened to like her most recent stuff either. I haven't really listened to Folklore a lot. She's got like a couple records since then. I haven't.
The recent shit sucks, so don't even bother. It all sounds the same.
Yeah, so like for me, like the stuff that I really love is, like I said, like 1989 is probably my favorite record of hers, then Red, and then Reputation. I think that Reputation's great. There's a lot of people that were critical of Reputation, but I think it's great.
It was corny, but it was a vibe.
I don't give a shit what you think.
Like the message of the album was like, I don't know, this whole weird like revenge thing with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm a snake. Like, I don't know. The vibe was corny, but I couldn't help but like the songs.
Me
Gordon
too.
Shumway sent us a 20. Phil, I'm from the mindset the parties are beginning to switch. The right identifies more with the working class now. Peter Zian, is that how you say it? Zian has said this has happened many times before. Do you fear socialism will start on the right?
Well, I mean, socialism has started on the right.
The government already overspends heavily on both sides.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm more thinking of like, so the far right, like the Groypers or whatever, those guys are very big government people. They believe in a strong centralized government. That fascism is thought of as a right wing thing, and if you're pro big government that wants to have a militaristic society and stuff, things that are consistently associated with fascism, that is a right wing, generally thought of as a right wing phenomenon, and it's also a very big government. So, and it's it's right wing socialism essentially. So it's not that it might start. It's always kind of existed, and I think that it is probably becoming more in fashion nowadays than it has been historically, or at least in the past 50, 60 years. There was a time when the right was just as happy with a big, strong central government as the left is. So.
Omega Red Fan said Phantasm is pretty underrated.
I never saw it.
There you go.
I haven't seen it. Cartoon Post said, I just realized I called 8 a letter, not a number. It's okay. We're not judging you.
Yeah.
We are judging you for Hear Me Out, though. Shane H. Wilder said Sleepaway Camp is a B-movie slasher, has a shock ending that would not be shocking today. If you know, you know. Would recommend.
That also reminds me that last night I saw an ad for Meth Gator, which is on Tubi, and I may have to watch Meth Gator. Velocipaster was really, really good.
Whatever happened to Crack Squirrel?
I never heard anything
There
else
were all
about
of these
Crack
other
Squirrel.
ideas. No, it was the raccoon.
Yeah, it was something... Crackoon? Or something like that.
There were all of these drugged up animals in the cinematic universe of Cocaine Bear.
Of the success of Cocaine Bear. But Meth Gator
didn't really
is
catch
on
on.
Tubi, and I'm going to have to go watch Meth Gator, I think.
Meth Gator. Maybe Lana has a cameo in it.
That would be great.
The Manic Mustache said, Diddy update. All Diddy was carrying baby oil. One had a Justin Bieber body pillow, and only one was in blackface. These kids are going to be all right. I love the holiday season. So these were all like middle schoolers, I'm assuming. Oh, that's... I hate that like they even know the reference to the disgusting stuff that Diddy has done, but it is pretty funny that Diddy is just becoming a synonym or like a placeholder for the F word, the bundle of sticks word.
There are people in the music business that have replaced the no homo thing with no Diddy.
Drake and Diddy both are now synonyms for gay, that you can just like say it in a derogatory way, but no one can call you out.
Drake, the kind of guy who closes the refrigerator door with his hip.
Yeah. It's just, why does he keep dressing like a 3-year-old girl? It's really disturbing.
And messaging Millie Bobby Brown when she's 14.
Weirdo. Red Snow said my praise for PCC is second only to Space King.
That makes sense.
I mean, I'm a little bit insulted, but thank you.
Before we go, guys, I do want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. I hope you're, if you have children, you're going trick-or-treating and not trunk-or-treating. As Alex Clark says, you need to get to know your neighbors and become one with your community again. What was voted worst Halloween candy? I think it ended up being the apple with the razor blade.
No. Apple with razor blade was not the top voted. I thought it was candy corn.
No, it was apple with razor blade, then candy corn.
Are we sure?
Yes.
Okay.
But I was just looking at this list here of like all the worst candy. Like, so
Twizzlers should have been on the poll.
I got more people yesterday send me actual messages.
Phil is offended.
Like
Phil
loves
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers are good.
Okay. The amount of people who actually took the time to send me messages about their hate for Mounds bars was awesome.
I'm not a fan of Mounds.
They're disgusting.
Yeah. Like, who's keeping them in business?
Coconut in general, I just can't stand.
Twizzlers, I give a pass because Twizzlers pull and peel is a thing, and I used to like the Twizzlers pull and peel.
Licorice is good. Not licorice flavored, but the strawberry licorice and Twizzlers is good.
Biddo honey, I get. I would never want to eat Biddo honey.
Never even seen that.
Circus peanuts.
You skipped Whoppers. What about Whoppers?
I won't accept Whoppers slander.
I mean, Whoppers I always tolerated, but it's not what I want.
I still don't even know what candy buttons are. You had to explain this to me.
Phil, you've seen these, right? They're just these little hard candy, like circles of hard candy on a paper sheet.
Oh, yes. Those are disgusting.
Like, who would want that? Then you just try to get it off the paper, but then it sticks to the.
And you get your.
Then you're eating paper.
They're
so
horrible.
I mean, butterscotch candy seems like there's an age barrier to entry there.
They're
like only old
fine,
people are
but they're
going to give you those.
fun. They're
at grandma's house.
Yeah, they're not. They're fine, but they're
like those little strawberry ones.
We have those at home.
Ew.
Why? They're delicious. I will not accept the Milk Duds slander. I will accept the Red Hot slander.
Milk Duds are great.
Yeah,
Milk Duds are just chocolate and caramel. Like that's a good combination. That's
I'm not really into caramel though, so I never liked them.
I mean, I get that's fine, and there's nothing wrong with it, but they're not bad. Like the dots or whatever, those things. Those are just genuinely bad, and you eat
love
paper
dots too. I love dots.
The candy dots that are
no,
on the
not
paper?
the dots
not the paper
on the
ones,
paper.
just the regular dots.
What are the ones on the paper called?
Do you mean Dippin' Dots?
No, literally they're on screen.
Oh, you mean
these dots right here.
Yes, okay, those are different.
Those
yes,
are
I
fun.
understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But I'm talking about the little ones that are little colored sugar blobs that are stuck to paper. You literally just eat paper. Those are actually bad.
I will not accept the gummy hamburger slander either. Now
I
you
would
can get,
F up a gummy hamburger on
now
Halloween.
you can get get gummy Lunchables now.
I would be like
Five Below.
It's like a Krabby Patty.
Oh God.
Dum Dums. I mean, Dum Dums really should only.
It's for
be
the
available-
doctor's office.
I was gonna say should only be available at a doctor's office or some type of waiting room.
Right.
If you're buying, those in bulk, you either work for some type of medical facility or you've got a white van.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know who's giving out pretzels.
People who are messed up in the brain. I got Ziploc bags with pretzels.
See,
a few times.
Anything that's got comes in a Ziploc bag or doesn't
don't
have
eat it.
factory seal, throw that garbage away.
I imagine that there's a certain type of wet blanket person who loves to just give out candy nobody will like for Halloween, just as payback for being interrupted with their night for their night.
Like
Bad people.
they must know what they're doing.
You think?
They must be aware that
it used to be
children don't want to eat Werther's Originals.
If it was a dentist giving you like pretzels, I guess it makes sense because he's spent his life warning you about what's going to happen to your teeth if you eat it.
These people.
We got some super chats to finish up.
Okay, the Manic Mustache said no Diddy or no Cuomo or no Diddley. No Cuomo is my favorite. Pete Donovan said, what is your favorite song that has strong Halloween vibes, even though it isn't technically a Halloween song?
Monster Mash.
Happy All Hallows Eve.
Anything from London After Midnight.
I don't know.
Demon by London After Midnight. There.
I can't think of any. The Rumbling said no Diddy, no doubt has a whole new meaning now. Shane H. Wilder said, everyone gets depressed, but doing things like things greater than yourself, then you will find the depression disappear. Be a Tigger, not an Eeyore.
It's why having a job is so important beyond just having, beyond just being able to make money to survive. Is that you need to go out and feel useful, as if you've set goals for yourself that day and accomplished them.
Yep.
I think that's why COVID was so dangerous for so many people, is that they were no longer required to do that, and that caused a lot of depression for people.
Psyche said, Folklore, Tortured Poets, and Evermore top 3 Taylor albums. You could not be more wrong. It's actually crazy.
That's
that
insane.
You think that.
Insane.
Because they all sound like the same album.
And I'm not saying that to crap on the albums that you referenced, but to say that 1989 Red and the other one are not good. I mean, that's just completely ridiculous.
Yeah, they must have not listened to the older stuff. Lover was awful though. Even Taylor knows that Lover was bad. Gordon Shumway said, Quaalude Koala.
There you go.
Let's go. P.S. Red Vines over Twizzlers.
I enjoy the throwback to drugs of times past for your reference.
Quaalude
Don't
quail.
see a lot. Yeah,
Red Snow said, Opium Possum? Opossum?
Yeah.
Killed the drugged animal universe. Greg Duvier said, I keeping mounds in business.
He's keeping mounds in business? That's crazy.
There
had to be somebody doing that. Put a girl on.
The Rumbling said, Red Hots are just Fireball whiskey for kids.
That's actually true. For the most part, yeah. Or Fireball whiskey is just Red Hots for adults.
True. Shane H. Wilder said, wow, Mary Janes were not on the list. What is that? Is that a candy?
Is that a candy?
I've never heard of it. Gordon Shumway said black licorice is just Jägermeister for kids.
So when we would go to the to that big candy store in America, in Minnesota, that one that's like up north or up south of the outside of the cities. It's like the biggest candy store in America, or in Minnesota. It's huge. It's like 2 buildings. And my dad's like, could you find some chocolate licorice?
Ew.
Because there was chocolate licorice lawsuits a couple years ago where people were having like heart attacks from eating it.
Why?
I don't remember.
Because it was something other than chocolate.
Some ingredient in there.
It does not sound like it's made of chocolate at all.
I don't remember.
It sounds disgusting.
But he's like, if you find any.
Ew.
I did find some.
So he was trying to have a heart attack.
He was not trying to have a heart attack. I did find some Hershey's chocolate licorice. It sounds absolutely disgusting to me, but to each their own.
Ew. I don't know why these weren't on, but on the list, the chocolate covered raisins, what are they called?
Raisinets.
Yeah, Raisinets. Those are amazing.
Black licorice health risks. And it's, what does it say? It's some ingredient I can't pronounce has harmful effects on the body.
I bet Alex Clark would know.
She would absolutely. It can cause potassium levels in the body to drop suddenly and drastically, and can trigger hazardous imbalances in other important minerals such as sodium.
Nate said, correct answer to Halloween vibe song is Somebody's Watching Me. True.
That's a good call.
High Voltage 75 said, Phil, did you ever eat packing peanuts?
No.
I did. That's why they're saying it. They're made of cornstarch. It's completely edible. It literally just tastes like a Cheeto. I'm being serious.
Phil feels like he's being punked right now. He's not being punked.
You should try it sometime.
No, and tastes like a Cheeto, as in like without the
I guess without the powder
orange stuff.
Yeah. It's edible. It's not like it's made of plastic. It's literally just like potato starch or something. Okay.
We're gonna have
Judge me all you want.
Yeah.
Judge me all you want.
That was a JD Vance level memeable image right there, by the way.
Red Snow said, can we get a Chungus on so I can figure out what it is?
I think they were laughing at you yesterday because you said Chungies. When I think they meant Chunguses.
What?
They were saying what the
plural?
plural?
He literally typed out Chungies.
No, I'm saying, but yesterday's, I think it was Chunguses. Not
Was it?
Chungies. Yeah. It was Chungai, Chunguses, or whatever. And I think they were like,
Okay.
I don't think it's Chungies.
I don't know.
Sounds like an Armenian name to me, but I could be wrong.
Shane H. Wilder said Mary Jane's are the black and orange wrapped peanut butter taffy. That sounds disgusting. Ew.
And one more there.
Is there another? Red Snow, Mary packing peanuts out for kids. One per child. Holly Movie Star said, just make sure it's a cornstarch peanut and not foam. I know. That's the one that I was eating. It wasn't made of foam or
She's like,
plastic.
I wouldn't eat the foam packing peanuts. What are you, nuts?
Obviously, yeah.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel?
Mary, that's not Cheetos.
If you have not subscribed here yet already, Phil, thank you.
Thank you.
Let everyone know where the heck they can find you.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer. And if you want to check out any of our new videos for No Tomorrow, Divine, or Let You Go, you can find those on the All That Remains YouTube page. And don't forget, the left lane is for crime.
Rook Av sent us a super chat. You give out more candy as an adult than you collect as a kid, and that is why I'm a bitter old man.
That's deep.
You can go trick-or-treating. It's just everyone's going to judge you for it.
I also pulled up an article today about this local municipality that was giving out like strict age restrictions for like when you had to stop trick-or-treating. So they basically answered the question. They're like, after 12, that's a hard cap. Nobody else.
Yeah.
I was like, are they like running IDs? Are they making these kids prove themselves?
One more from Gordon Shumway. Phil, thank you for the judgment and shame. Mary, stop being the kid who ate paste in the 2nd grade. Never mention packing peanuts again. I wasn't the one who mentioned it.
Yep, was it her?
It was you guys that brought it up.
You're just the one that ate them.
Whatever. Okay. You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to follow me, Instagram and Twix, at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, guys, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would prefer to listen rather than watch the show, you can rate and review over there on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So I'd like you to go over there and do that. 5 stars only, please lie if you must. And if you want to follow the show on social media, Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Again, another reminder, guys, we will be off air next week as Timcast and everyone's going to be over in Nashville for the election. I will be helping to move. We'll be moving the studio from here over to Freedomistan. So we're going to take that week to get everything set up and ready to go and ready to go live again when everyone gets back from the election coverage.
Back under a new administration.
Yep. So
it'll be weird.
Just stay tuned for updates. Follow us on social media. We'll make sure to let everyone know what is going on, and we will put out a community post letting you guys all know again on Monday that we will not be on next week. So just letting everybody know, so nobody nobody can be surprised or pretend to be surprised. I've mentioned it every day this week. All right, guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. See you then.
Packing.
Bye.
Packing peanuts.